Hello everybody, this is Yukimi Lemares, and this is another art rambling, and today's topic is going to be line weight. I want to go over just kind of what I do and how I approach line weight and a little bit about it, because I feel like this is something that kind of can make or break artwork. Like, I'm going to use some examples. So first of all, what is line weight? Line weight is just and I'm going to draw this on the screen. It's the thickness and thinness of your lines. So if you have really thin lines, or they're all the same, or if they're thick and they overlap, they all help in reading what you're drawing. It helps the viewer to see and recognize what you're drawing, whether it's the detail, the depth of field, or the character silhouette. So I'm gonna go show some old art. So in this example, this is from 2009. This was a gift art, I believe I did, or a commission. I cannot remember. It was a sketch commission. This is done in pencil on paper, but the rules still apply whether it is digital or traditional. So with this one as the example, I apologize, it's a little bit grainy. I don't have the original file. You can see where the lines are super thin, and it's not bad. It still reads well, but I didn't understand quite the importance of it, and because of that, there's something to be desired about it. But it's not bad. This is still not, I would say, like my personal, not worst at all by any means. I was learning for a while at that point. So this one here is another example of line weight from the past, from like 2009 again. And I used it to kind of outline the characters and show an overlap and detail. Obviously, again, I was new at it and I didn't quite know why it was important. And when you don't know why it's important, it might have some inconsistencies, which again, I'm still really, I wouldn't say that I'm like expert. I'm still one of those struggle as I learn as I go kind of artist. So I'm not speaking with authority. I'm just speaking from my continued experience. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know why certain things were highlighted, why certain lines were thicker, how it all worked. I just kind of throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. And now let's fast forward to today. This was about a month ago, I believe. This is just a rough sketch. But to show the sketch part, like before I did the colors, this is how I sketch today versus, 16 years ago. Gosh. The difference is I kind of have a better idea of how to really layer these lines. And you can see it in the finished, where the lines that are thicker are overlapping certain parts. And when you do that, you kind of create the depth of field. So that's why you'll see some thicker lines around here. Oh, wait. I circled on the bottom layer. Sorry. Okay, white. So like right here, we'll have this line is a little thicker. These colors kind of blend, but that's because I'm trying not to pull too much focus on it. Right here. And then right in this little area. These little things don't seem like a lot, but if you have a line weight variation in those areas, they get separated from the rest, and it creates this kind of 3D effect in the drawing. And another example would be in this piece. And I did it pretty much, in all the important areas. Like, again, when you pull back, the main focus is going to be right here. This is the center, the focal point. So that's going to be the area that I'm going to be focused more on, having these line weight variations, which also aren't just like your line art, it's also with lighting. So I put lighting right here so that it would be separated from the neck. I put, the outline of the maw right there. And then right here with his chin going down, that was a little bit difficult to figure out at the start of it. Was like, how am I going to make this read right? Because that's what I think about when I'm working on the finishing parts of it, is like, is this reading the way that I'm hoping it does? It's a hit and miss in a lot of ways, but you can kind of troubleshoot it is kind of what I call it. And then as you see, it goes lower. There's a lot less me paying attention to where I'm throwing these lines, and it's just because all of, like, this here is a focal point too, kind of pulls it in. I'm trying to keep all the main details to that center, and again, line weight plays a role. Here's the original. So this is a sketch, and you can see it. Wow, it's white. I meant black lines. The sketch is very similar line weight, all in this area. But when you go to the colors, the color, the lighting, and the thickness of each of those places overlapping kind of helps make it read better. So I think that makes sense. So now I'm going to kind of go over, like, actually showing it in action. So let's, I'm going to block in a shape to use as a base. I have this pastel blending brush, which is from a mentorship I took way back when. I'm just going to use this as reference. I'm going to draw him. Yeah, I can't really share this brush because it came from a mentorship and you had to pay for that. And if I ever figure out how to make brushes, I'll probably make my own and share it. So this is a silhouette. I'll do another video on silhouettes and block painting because it's pretty cool. It's pretty helpful when you don't really want to look for a reference, but you can kind of ad hoc it if it helps anybody. So let me try to eyeball this a little bit. This is not going to be perfect. I have an idea in my head and I'm not sure if I'm going to get it. So the first wave of drawing is just getting, like, the rough sketch done. And there's a lot of tutorials and stuff you can look up that can help probably better and explain it better than me. I am not very good at being a teacher, but I want to share what I know, and figure I can give it a shot. And if this helps anybody, that'd be awesome. If not, then, you know, it was still fun to put together. Okay, so getting that head shape in. Sometimes, at least for me, a lot of the times when I start making something, it does not look like the character in question. It takes a few rounds, especially for this one. His name's Kalen. Having a beard is not really my forte in drawing, yet I still gave him a beard anyway, knowing full well that I would have to draw him and want to draw him a lot. So, okay, so yeah, this is what I call, like, the first round of sketching. It's just to, like, figure out what the hell I'm doing. And then once I get that done, yeah, he's got, like, a little scar. Sorry, give me a second trying to figure out this eye shape. References are not bad. I'm just being very lazy right now, trying to do all of this in one shot. Okay, so it works for the purposes of this. So now what I would do in this instance is I would either... No, I'm going to show you exactly how I would approach this now. I know the hair I want is going to be up here, so it's just a lot of just, you know, sketching and re-sketching and finding the lines that I want to keep and then redrawing them in just one go instead of chicken scratching it. Which, you know, chicken scratching isn't bad. If that's how you draw, it's how you draw. I think anybody can make any technique work for them. So... Oh, that's probably what I did. I started the eye. One of the things I have to do some more studies on is eyes. You'd think I'd be better at it. No siree. I am still figuring this out. Alright, I think that's it, but I hope that helps illustrate the difference of line weight. I'm not sure. So in this one, you can see that I use the light to help differentiate depth as well as the lines. I think I could go a step further and show what it looks like without that. So let's just say I'm gonna kind of trace it with just a simple black brush and see if I can. I'm afraid of turning off the. Okay, I'll use a pen because that doesn't really have much line weight. At least this one doesn't. So this is what I mean about how if you don't vary the line weight, it can look very flat, I think might be the right word for it. So we're just going to do part of it because I'm kind of short on time. I need to wrap this up. I hope it does at least help show what I mean. And, you know, there's no real wrong way. You could still use the same width and stuff of your tools if that's the style and stuff you like. There's no shame. There's nothing wrong with that. This is just something I've learned to try to bump up my level, my art. So, so yeah, that's kind of, I don't know if that makes sense at all. But thank you for tuning in, and I hope you find this helpful. And if not, well, you know, thanks for, you know, listening. Bye.